A head coach doesn't just disappear midway through an international tournament. Coaches don't ghost their own bench without something serious going on behind closed doors. But that's exactly what happened with Kara Lawson, the Team USA head coach during the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico, especially after her treatment of superstar Caitlyn Clark. With 3 games left, she was suddenly gone, and Nate Tibbetts of the Phoenix Mercury was now running Team USA. What changed? What actually happened in that locker room or in those front office conversations? Do you think Kara Lawson sabotaged Caitlyn? Let me know in the comments below. Here's where it gets interesting. There was a plan going into this tournament. That plan had Caitlyn Clark, the most exciting player in women's basketball right now, coming off the bench, not starting in 4 out of 5 games. Consider Game 1 against Senegal. Clark came off the bench, played limited minutes, and still broke 5 FIBA world records in that game. She posted the highest assist total ever recorded by a USA debutante in a FIBA qualifying game. Records that had stood for decades were gone in one night. Kara Lawson's response was to put her back on the bench for the next game. The offense in those first 2 games was slow and deliberate. Half-court sets, veterans handling the ball, the pace of a team that was not trying to run anybody off the floor. And there is a philosophy behind that. Stephanie White, who is both the Indiana Fever head coach and a Team USA assistant, has been open about wanting Clark to play slow, off-ball, more controlled. White wants Clark to fit into a system rather than be the system. So the offense grinds along, Clark rotates in and out, and the team is winning, but nobody is lighting anything on fire. Picture this. You have a player who just shattered 5 world records coming off your bench. Your offense is moving at half speed. Your starting guards are running sets that eat 20 seconds off the shot clock before a shot goes up. And your best decision maker in transition is sitting down. That is not a coaching philosophy. That is a puzzle with the wrong pieces in the wrong spots. Clark's game runs on pace and quick reads. She sees the floor 2 seconds ahead of most defenders. When you slow that down, you do not just limit Clark, you make the whole offense worse, because now defenses can set up and take away everything. The early box scores showed it. The team was functional but never explosive, never getting into that rhythm where the other team just cannot keep up. Then came the Puerto Rico game. Clark's minutes got cut even further. Puerto Rico ran a box-and-1 against her, dedicating an entire defensive scheme to taking her out of the game. And it worked, not because Clark is not good enough, but because the offensive system around her had no answers. The team looked stuck. Commentators noticed. Fans were furious. If you watched that game, you felt it too. This was not working, and everyone could see it except the coaching staff. But that is not all. Even through all of this, 4 games on the bench, a box-and-1 designed to erase her, a system built for someone else, Clark still led Team USA in plus-minus and efficiency for the entire tournament. Let that sit for a second. Bench minutes, limited role, restrictive system, and she still outperformed everyone on her own team in those 2 categories. She also led the entire tournament in both stats, not just Team USA, she led the whole field. After Puerto Rico, Lawson steps up to the press conference microphone, and a reporter asks her directly about Clark's role. Lawson pivots. She says everyone on Team USA should shine. She does not mention the records. She does not address the minutes. She does not explain anything. Just a non-answer and move on. That right there tells you everything. 5 world records broken, a team that is clearly better when Clark runs the offense, and the head coach will not even say her name when asked point blank. Then, just like that, Lawson stops showing up to games. Game 3 tips off, and Nate Tibbetts is standing on the Team USA sideline in a polo shirt, calling timeouts, drawing up plays. Kara Lawson is simply not there. No announcement from USA Basketball, no press release, no statement saying she stepped away for personal reasons or had a scheduling conflict. She is just gone. Tibbetts is the head coach of the Phoenix Mercury. That is his job. He had no official role with Team USA heading into this tournament. So the fact that he is suddenly the guy with the clipboard, running the huddle, making substitution decisions is not normal. Coaches do not just wander onto international tournament sidelines because there was an open seat. Someone put him there. Someone made a call. USA Basketball said nothing publicly. No update on Lawson's status, no explanation for the change, nothing. When an organization goes that quiet about something this visible, it usually means the answer is something they would rather not say out loud. So the internet does what it always does. People start pulling clips, lining up timelines, connecting dots. The dots are not hard to connect. Lawson disappears right after the Puerto Rico game, right after that press conference where she would not say Clark's name, right after the Clark situation had turned into a full national conversation about mismanagement and wasted talent. The rumors that started circulating were pretty direct. USA Basketball looked at what was happening on the floor and decided it was a problem they could not let keep going. The Caitlyn Clark situation specifically had become something the organization did not want attached to their brand heading into a World Cup cycle. Whether it was the record she broke while sitting on the bench, the Puerto Rico press conference, or something said behind closed doors between players and staff, nobody is officially confirming any of it. But the timing makes it really hard to argue this was a coincidence. And then Tibbetts does something in his very first game that Lawson had not done once across 3 games. He puts Caitlyn Clark in the starting lineup. That is his first move. Clark starts. Team USA beats New Zealand by 55 points. 55-80. Clark plays 23 minutes, posts 14 points and 6 assists. 0 turnovers, and the offense looks nothing like what it did under Lawson. The pace is faster, the spacing is cleaner. Clark is pushing in transition, teammates are getting open looks early in the shot clock, and the whole thing just flows. One coaching change, one decision to start Clark and run the offense through her, and the team goes from grinding through box-and-one defenses to winning by 55. That is not a talent upgrade. The roster did not change. The players did not get better overnight. The system changed. Clark, in the right system, looks completely different from Clark buried in the wrong one. Tibbetts also does not dodge questions about Clark after the game. He is straightforward about the approach. Guard-heavy lineups, Clark running alongside Kelsey Plum, Paige bueckers operating in space, the ball moving, and the pace up. He talks about Clark the way a coach talks about a player he actually wants on the floor. It is a noticeable shift from what had been coming out